Hey all, Slanesh Devotee here again, and this time I have week 3 of the Black Crusade Autumn Tournament. I'm up against Bunny Ninja 14 playing Straken, and I'm still rocking my Urien here. So we've got a green, blue and a red, blue and a red, blue, red, green, blue, red, green. We've got a few options here for an early-ish game. Straken adds +1 to any soldiers or warriors at his planet. And Urien, of course, has the bonus for torches. So I decided to mulligan this. I'm looking for more control of the resources and cards available on the board. Now this deck is actually one that my mate Stanley put together. Maximum Maximus or Ultramarine on the forums, one or the other. And this is one he's got where the idea is that you choke them out and you've got a few options to try and damage their ability to create cappers, and you can do some removal of single units if you can. So I mulliganed to try and get that. Bunny Ninja Jenny, I believe her name is, mulliganed as well. And here we go. Waiting for Jenny to go first. And she goes to start with the Talon Raiders, a 1-cost army unit with 0 attack, 2 hit points, but it gains 2 attack when there's a warlord there. But she doesn't go for planet 1, she goes for planet 2. I think she's thinking the green planet's not that useful. So I begin with a Rakath's Experimentations, the signature unit for my warlord. I pick a unit, attachment, support. I pick a category of card, and she has to either discard one of those from her hand or take a point of damage onto Straken. Now I'm only doing this basically as a stall. I don't have a huge amount of command in my hand, but what I do have, I'll be able to place exactly wherever she puts hers if I can stall long enough with the Rakath's Experimentations. So she takes the point of damage to Straken. You might have noticed my cards all sort of shifted around at the bottom of the screen there. It took a little while to decide on how to open, so I took the opportunity to rearrange my intentions into order. But let's see how she follows that up. Righteous Initiate, quite a nice little capper there. He's 2 cost rather than the 1 command, 1 attack, 2 hit points, but he stops the first point of damage with his Unstoppable specialization when he first point of damage in a round, and then gains +2 attack, so he swings back for 3. He's a really nice capper. You don't really want to take him on as a warlord. So, Rakath's Experimentation again. Again, I'm calling out units. I wanted to drop as many units as possible. You can't win the game without units, or at least it becomes a lot harder. And this time, she takes another point of damage. So I'm happy with that. That's fine. Again, I'm only really doing it as the stall, but as I get more damage onto Straken, 2 points out of his 6 hit points, is like, oh yeah, I might be able to do something here. I might be able to step in. I've got my Clivex War Leader in there, so if I can pull him in and attack Straken somewhere, that could be potentially quite good. At the moment, Jenny's only got 1 command at each of 2 planets, so I know with my 2 Void Pirates I'm going to be able to stop that. And she goes with another Righteous Initiate onto the first planet, which is fine. It's not the end of the world. There's no cards available on planet 1, which is Osis, so I'm quite happy for her to get that, because again, I just want to stop her having the right cards to do what she wants. 3 experimentations in a row. And this time she decides to drop a unit. She drops a Steel Legion Chimera, which is pretty solid. It's a handy unit to have, but I think she's beginning to realise that I'm not going to have enough things on the field to make its ability really useful. The Chimera prevents a point of damage every time for every other non-vehicle unit at the planet on your side. And really what you want is lots of small chipping away points coming in, and clearly I've got not many points of damage at all at this point coming in. So she's got 2 resources and 3 cards left, but she's probably running a little low on options. She might have a unit or 2 in there, maybe a support or something. Omega Zero command, her signature support, so yeah, that allows wherever she wins command she gets to put a guardsman token. So I pay an extra resource for a non-torture event, Promise of Glory, and create 2 cultist tokens, which are going to be able to allow me to reduce the cost of a demon unit, which I've got one in my hand. Now, as I say, I didn't actually put this deck together. I'm using it on behalf of Stan, Ultramarine, Maximus. I don't know which name is more familiar to you, or which one I'm going to use more often. And I thought, I asked him if he thought the Promise of Glory cost was really worth it, and he said, basically, it's basically a Splintered Path Acolyte. You pay 1, and then you get your 2 cost reduction. An Acolyte you might be able to leave on a planet, though, which is better, obviously. STC is a similar exchange, but obviously that stays in play. So, you know, he didn't think it was too bad. And I think to guarantee I can afford the Chaos Demons that I've got in here, I think it is kind of necessary to make sure I've got enough cards like it. But let me know what you think. Let me know if you think he's right. So, I put in the Venomous Fiend. I decide to go further down the line, and my thought is that I will, if I'd have gone mobiled to either other planet, I would not be able to, the Unstoppable would prevent the damage that the Fiend would be doing. So I decided I'll at least get the Talon Raiders. I put the Void Pirates to block Jenny's cards, and I also thought the Fiend would be able to cover Iridial at Planet 4 if Straken decides to try and go to Iridial. If Straken decides to go to Karnath to trigger Iridial and heal himself, the Fiend can go there as well. So I felt like I had some good options, and I kind of just have to give away Planet 1, unfortunately, at this point. Did I decide to go to Planet 1? I can't remember. I don't think I did. Let's see what we choose. After a small pause, there we go. Jenny has chosen. Bunny Ninja has made a decision. It's a tough decision. The Fiends cause a problem. Command is going to be tricky for her, so let's see what she decides. There we go, she's sure of herself. So I decided to go to Planet 2 to get Karnath, and she went to Planet 2 as well, which is fine. That means neither of us get that one. But I do manage to get a couple of other points of command. That's the word. So Jenny takes her 2 resources, and she's going to get a 3rd, which is pretty intense. I get another Fiend and another Promise of Glory. So potentially 2 Fiends running around might be worthwhile, might be okay. She does manage to put a Guardsman onto Planet 1 as well, which is what she's just organising there. There we go. Right, so Guardsman to Planet 1. Just going to check if she has any command actions. And she's just letting me know that she doesn't, so that's fine. Alright, so looking at mobile, and yep, I'm very happy to swing down to this first planet, or second planet. Ping the Talon Raiders, make them a bit easier to kill, hopefully at least. She takes the damage, no shielding. And now she gets Osis 4. So I lose the resource, which is, yeah, a shame. Lots of resources. It's going to be helpful for her, getting out the cards she does have, but I'm still keen to just stop her getting any cards, wherever possible. Okay, so she's got 1 green, but that's fine, because that's not actually a win condition for another 4 planets, 4 battles, so I feel like I've got space to maneuver. So, fighting at Karnath, the damage that Straken already has and the damage that the Talons already have, the fact that I have a Fiend who's an elite, bigger, nastier demon, I'm feeling pretty confident that I can win this. No actions. and she runs straight away, which I think is probably the wise decision with Straken. You don't want to get him bloodied. I was quite worried that she'd have like Glorious Intervention or something, because Straken often has some really good damage mitigation. But in lieu of that, that makes it a lot easier to just take out the raiders. That's fine. And she's got no action, so which planet would I like to trigger? I think there's only one solution really. I think it's got to be Aatrox. Yeah. There we go. Alright. Just cleaning up the board state a little bit. There we go. Okay. And she just takes the damage off the Righteous Initiate because that's his Unstoppable kicking in, which is quite fair, quite reasonable. I had not really thought about it, but of course it is. Alright, no headquarters actions, all done. On to the next turn. Let's see what we've got. I've got a Splintered Path Acolyte, which actually made me go, ooh, a nice, relatively cheap Fiend. That could be quite good. And then I believe is that another Rakarth's Experimentations, which, not that great. Yeah, I throw it out as a stall, but actually I already have the Splintered Path and the Promise of Glory. I think that might have been a better one to use, because I'd already damaged Straken. If I had held on to that as a potential sort of out of nowhere last point of damage to bloody him suddenly, depending on how many cards I thought she had, that could have been a good idea. Now she's on to me. She's straight out going for the card draw there, and so I decide to go with a put my Acolyte down there to block it. And I'm thinking I might not even use the Acolyte's ability for my Fiend because I just want to make sure she's blocked. So she's got 6 resources and 3 cards. I have 5 resources and 3 cards. She's got 2 small units, a token, and a Kappa, and I've got an elite 2 Kappas and a small unit. Interesting combination. So she's decided to cancel me out instead of trying to get some resource benefit. With the Rattling Deadeye opposite my Vogue Trader. Void Pirate, not Rogue Trader. Vogue Trader sounds like a Madonna in space. Although that would be Mad Donna Ulante from Necromunda. Good game. That was a really good game. Okay, so she's out of choices. And here comes my Fiend. Yeah, I think I probably should have saved the Rakarth's Experimentations. Might have been a bit more useful as a pull it out of my pocket sort of play. So I go to Planet 2, the idea being that I can mobile to Planet 1 if I need to, I can mobile over to Iridial if I need to, and also sort of swapping places with the other Fiend if need be. I decide to go down to Planet 5, and that moment is when I went, I like the idea of going to Planet 5. She's got a bunch of units moving with Straken, so she's very unlikely to dump them all down in Planet 5. It's past her win condition and everything. I should have used up the Splintered Path Acolyte to save some money, and that might have allowed me to pull in the Clivex opposite Straken wherever he ended up. Because I actually realised that I did want to go and get myself some cards at Barlas, and I did want to trigger the discard against her. So yeah, I feel like the Acolyte didn't need to be there, which is a bit frustrating, but I win a lot of command, which is nice, very, very nice, and Jenny just wins the 1. So she gets 1 card, I get 5 cards and 2 resources. Yeah, so if I'd sacrificed the Splintered Path Acolyte, I'd have enough for that Clivex, which it really would have helped, really would have been useful, I think. But I'm thinking mobile. I'm like, hooray, she didn't go to Planet 1. I can move over my units, both of my Fiends, and I can win a planet with just a Void Pirate. I'm pretty happy with that. That's going to be great. Yep, there we go. Pull one over, and I mean, there's no point in not getting rid of the unstoppable and then being able to swing for 3, otherwise I'd just be effectively swinging for 1, so I might as well trigger it now. They do nothing, but there we go. And I'm thinking one Fiend, or I don't mind the Fiend dying as long as I can kill Straken. And there's not many things that are unexhausted, so I'm hopeful that I might get a chance to swing at him. I mean, obviously, it'd be pretty dumb if he left, and maybe I shouldn't have even come over, but I really am hopeful. So she's just putting on attack markers on her initiates to show that they've got that effect. And then we're going to resolve Karnath. And I'm thinking Aatrox firing over to Straken and the Guardsman and the Acolyte, the Initiate. I'm thinking that's probably going to be my pick. Although it could be really nice to do a double discard from Barlas. That would be really nice as well. Drop her twice. So I've got some good options here. I'm quite looking forward to what's happening now. So I just want to check that we're all up to date here, that she's ready for actions on planet 1, because I'm done, I'm good. She says she's thinking. Okay, no worries. I did suddenly think, oh, what might she be thinking about? I couldn't think of anything that Straken would have, except the champion cards. Veteran Crusader for 2 resources. First time I've seen it used for or against me. I haven't seen a Veteran Crusader in play except in the previous Black Crusade finals. Okay, so the Crusader is a no command 2 cost unit, 3 attack, 3 hit points. After it can ambush, obviously, but after it comes in, you set your servo skull to a planet. Each player must sacrifice a unit at the planet. So if we choose the same planet, it cancels out, nothing happens. If she chooses one planet and I choose another planet, both of us have to sacrifice a unit at both of those planets. So it's a really solid way for her to deal with my elites, but she also has to assume that I'm going to be able to deal with the elites. I decided to choose planet 1 because I don't mind losing planet 1 and not getting anything out of it, and that she wouldn't get anything out of that either. But if she chooses planet 1 with the same thought, she can swing with the Crusader and kill my Void Pirate, and so it's much of a muchness. I don't want to try and get my Fiend opposite Straken, because if she hasn't decided to try and save Straken, then I'm killing my Fiend myself. That's a bad call. My other option is I could possibly have gone for Barlas, where I would have got rid of her Kappa without having to swing with Urien, and been pretty safe in that. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to lose one of the Fiends at this point, and so I'm just trying to sort of clear out my other options. So I did 1 and she did 5, so I drop off 2 resources worth of units, which could have been 3 resources with that Acolyte, and if I'd used it already that could have been slightly different. But she loses her Crusader and she loses the Rogue Trader, and I'm pretty happy with that. If I had enough money for the Clivex, would it be worth pulling him into the first planet just to win that first planet? Potentially. And then I would be able to do the double discard. That could have been, if I'd have used that Acolyte sooner, that game could be quite different. Alright, so Karnath is nobody's at this point. Nope, she isn't able to get it either, so bye-bye Karnath. Discard, goodbye Karnath, there we go. So I don't get to trigger Aatrox against her, I don't get to trigger an extra Barlas, and that's making things a little nastier. If I had been able to do that, probably would have killed the Guardsman and would have made the Righteous Initiate and the Guardsman token that much easier, more likely for me to kill with the Fiend. I would have felt more confident about being able to trigger Iridial myself. Well, not being able to trigger Iridial, but being able to stop Straken triggering Iridial. Okay. So we've got to see what other actions does Straken have up his pocket. None. None at the moment. I've got no options. I've got a handful of units, which isn't really ideal. Swings with the Guardsman for 2. Straken being at the planet, which is a very risky maneuver, which made me think, Glorious Intervention or something, you know, that's really going to be a pain. But assuming no actions from Jenny, I'm hoping to bloody Straken would be great, be awesome. I'm assuming this is why she did it though. 2 shields with preemptive barrage. I'm thinking she stayed with Straken just to make sure that the Fiend wouldn't be able to swing on the wounded token or the initiate or anything like that. She really wanted to make sure that no points of damage squeaked through onto them. She swings back at the Fiend, which is really frustrating. I mean, obviously very well played by her, getting to 1 point within bloodying on Iridial and being able to just hold on long enough to get rid of me. If I had a 2 shield card and stayed with the Fiend, she'd still be able to retreat with Straken and be able to win, you know. Really well done. Really good work. Now, I needed my Ricard's experimentations to be able to do that. But maybe if I hadn't done Ricard's experimentations, she wouldn't have shielded with 2 shields against the Fiend. Other things like that, potentially. Or I might have been able to ambush the Clivex, but she might not have stayed if I'd had enough money for a Clivex. So many options, so many various different options. But there we go. So she heals up Straken, which is really good. And then I discard her last card, which was a troop transport. And I am so pleased to get rid of a troop transport. I hate those things when I'm playing against them. Although when I'm playing with them, beautiful. Alright, that's turn 2 done with. Let's see what options we get. Power from Pain is interesting, especially when coupled up with the Unwilling Slave that allows me to return it to hand. The Soul Grinder could be quite good, which I can use an STC to get into play. I'm just having a look at the numbers and seeing, can I afford all these things? What can I afford at the moment? But Jenny goes first. She begins with Straken's command squad, his signature unit, beginning to overwhelm me with a bit more command, which is a bit of a pain. I put in my STC. Command squad's 2 cost, 1 command, 2 attack, 2 hit points, and when it leaves play you put in a Guardsman token, which is a nice little deal. You just get a little bonus out of them. Obviously the STC is limited support that reduces the cost of an elite by 2. Costs 1. Really, really helpful. The STC was hugely important for bringing up the ability of elites to actually get involved in the game a bit more reliably. Okay, she follows up with Straken's Cunning, which is great. That's his signature attachment, obviously 3 shields, but it's 1 cost, and when that unit leaves play, it's got +1 attack, but when the attached unit leaves play, draw 3 cards, which is really brutal when I'm wanting to choke her out of cards, because I have to kill that thing, so she has to get some cards out of it. I decide to put the Soul Grinder on the first planet, to kill it really easily. I don't want her shields to come into the play, but actually I think I probably should have put the Soul Grinder onto planet 2, and then she would have either had to send Straken to planet 1, which she might have done, but then she might not have gotten her Straken's Cunning, or she would have had to go to planet 2 to counter my Soul Grinder, and I might have gone to planet 2, or she'd need to go to planet well, way further down the line, basically. You think a bit more tactically. So I think the Soul Grinder I probably should have put on 2 and offered more threats in multiple places. I use the Unwilling Slave, 2 cost, 1 command, 1 attack, 2 hit points, and I can sacrifice it to bring a Torture event that I've just played back to my hand. But for now, his 1 command is all I need to cancel the command on Planet 2. So she's down to 0 cards. She's got the Straken's Cunning, which is a real pain, but she is down to 0 cards. So I've got a couple of options here, hopefully. There we go. She's made her decision. Okay. So I went down to Planet 3 to stop that command. She went to Planet 2, not keen to get to Planet 1. And my so my Soul Grinder kills 1 initiate. My what is it? It's a Fiend. Hopefully will kill the Deadeye. It should do because she's got no cards yet, so it has to die, which is great. Go. And out of all that, I'm going to get... Oh, she's got to resolve that Straken's Cunning, so I'm just going to wait for that. She's got her 3 cards. I get 2 cards and 2 resources. And she's going to get another card, I think, out of that command sniping, I believe. Yes, 1 card. So I've got a few Power from Pains, which is quite impressive. I'd love to be able to use it 3 times, but I actually can't. I can only use it twice, which is quite frustrating. But that will do the job. I'm considering mobiling both of the Fiends over, potentially, maybe. Yeah, so there we go. She's checking in on me, and I'm just checking with her. And do I want to send the wounded one over? He's exhausted. He's going to get killed if he goes over. But it will mean that it's harder for her to kill off my unwounded one so quickly. Do I need a Fiend to be able to kill off the... Oh, no, the Guardsman token that's going to appear? So, go against the Righteous Initiate, trigger him, and the other one, the other Fiend. I think I should. I'm looking back on the game now and thinking, yes, do it now, do it. But I think, oh, here we go, thinking on the other. What do I decide? I think I should. And I do. I move him over and I ping the Initiate for just 1 more. Excellent, fantastic. Is she going to shield him? She's got to be aware that Aatrox is likely to be triggered in a second. Although, you never know, she might have picked up another one of those Crusaders, which would be a right nuisance. Wouldn't be pleased about that. So I'm done on Aatrox. Here we go, moment of truth. Has she got another ambushing sod of a unit? She does not. Excellent. So I win that, and I'm going to ping everybody over here. Okay, can I kill off that Initiate? Can I kill off that Guardsman? Will I scare away Straken at this stage? Okay, so I killed 1, pinged a couple more. Straken, and the Initiate's going to be important. Ooh, that's a pricey one. She uses the Emperor's Warrant to defend the Righteous Initiate. Now the Warrant works as long as there's no enemy at the planet, enemy warlord at the planet, so she could have used that to get my Fiend to kill my other Fiend. She had the resources for it as well, but clearly to me that means she's got no other shields, and she desperately wanted it to stay alive. She doesn't expect to win this planet otherwise. So she has no action, and at this point I'm going to use my, I believe, ooh, suddenly I'm thinking apparently, I'm doing the maths of exactly how likely am I to survive all of this damage. That's because I'm going to have to sacrifice one of the things at the planet. So I do a Power from Pain. Now, of course, to me, she's going to use the Straken's command squad. That seems just obvious that that's what she would try and do. Now, I could also have, because I've got another one in hand, I could have not sacrificed the Unwilling Slaves. I'm pretty sure I'm going to. But if I hadn't sacrificed the Unwilling Slaves, they would have been another 2 points of damage that would have had to be done at this planet before Straken could win it, and that might have been helpful at keeping my Fiend going, or causing just enough damage to tip over. But I did. I took out the slave, took Power from Pain back, so she should be aware that I've got another Power from Pain, and she should realise, hopefully, that I've got the money for it, and that means the Initiate is going bye-bye. And she's done. And so I do my other Power from Pain. So there goes the Initiate. I'm very pleased. Oh, but then an Elysian Assault team turns up. That is much less good. That's a 2-cost unit with 2 attack, 1 HP, no command. But the thing is, after a soldier or warrior dies, they just turn up on the board for free. So they just jump in and like, hello, which is not helpful at all, really. So that's perfect timing to attack, and thank goodness goes for my already hale Venomous Fiend, clearly hoping to kill it off before it can ready, trying to work the way around like that. So I'm going to get rid of one of the guardsmen, so she can't ping me with its little 2 points of damage with Straken on the table, which is great. She swings with the token for 2, kills off a Fiend. Here we go. So that hurts. It's nasty. And Straken's going to try and do the finishing blow, but I'm actually going to keep that one alive. Thank you very much. I don't want to lose all my big demons right now. So Power from Pain could have been another useful one to hold on to, but I'm just going to keep it alive. And that's hers. And she heals her Warlord a little bit further. Stupid Straken. Okay, and then my turn. I've got no actions. Swing at the token. I'm hoping she's got no shields left there. And does she? Wouldn't be worth using. The token's not going to survive anyway. Can't kill off the Warlord. Okay, now, and I decide she's only got 2 cards in hand. I need a few more bodies out here because that Fiend's going to die. I've got 2 Clivex and they take forever to save up enough money to bring in. I'm thinking I'll put a Clivex just for a free 3/3 because I'm pretty sure she has nothing. But she has a Stalwart Ogryn. So that was not as good a call as I was expecting. Obviously a Clivex is probably really worth 3 resources just without if it was blank. And the Ogryn is probably decently worth 2, so that was, a 1 resource bonus on my account maybe. Just not that good. Not the best choice for me. Probably should have just left it. Oh well, done is done. Alright, so end of the turn, and let's see what we've got next. At the moment I've got a red and a blue icon, and she's got 1 green, so I'm feeling like I've got more options than her, although the next 3 planets are all green, which isn't so good. She's got 3 cards at this point, and 8 resources, so she can pretty much do what she'd like. So I'm thinking, at the moment, Siren on planet 1, so that if she tries to put anything down there, it's not going to be ready. and then that threatens if I go to Planet 1 with all of these big demons that are with me, I'm on initiative, that makes Planet 1 very likely to go to me. Sorry, the Siren is a 3-cost unique. She has 2 command hammers to attack 3 hit points, and she, whenever something is deployed at her planet, it's exhausted. But Bunny Ninja throws in a troop transport, and the first 3 planets are green. Troop transport is going to be really nasty now. I'm not sure what I can do about that, really. Throw a Void Pirate. Doesn't really matter which planet I go to. There's a lot of cards and not many resources on the field now, so just further down the line, get some more options, hopefully draw some shields, things like that. And that's all she's able to do, which is fantastic. Implies to me she's probably got a couple of events, but still, that's pretty good. I decide I don't want to... Oh, I've got no resources. I don't want to put the promotion out. I want to hold on to it. So, let's see. Okay. So I've made a decision. Jenny's got some interesting options here. The troop transport gives her a lot more flexibility. She has to be really careful. She could lose something quite sturdy if she gets caught up against the wrong battle here with the Soul Grinders, a really big beefy unit. So, where's she going to go? Okay, she's choosing. There we go. Okay. Let's see where we end up. I go to set my stuff up on planet 2. She goes all the way down to planet 3. She really wants card draw, but she's got 2 planets with options to get it now, so that's going to be rough on me. She's going to have plenty of card draw crawling in. I still have a decent amount of income, but the lack of resources is going to become really tricky really soon. Straken's probably going to have a better lineup for me in that regard. Okay, so she's got 8 resources and 4 cards. I only have 1 resource, but I do have 6 cards, which is a little bit better. I can power from pain, which is very, very lucky. Do I want to mobile down? Oh, and I make a silly decision here. I remember now that I immediately knew I shouldn't. I pass mobile. I think I can win Planet 1 with the Siren by herself, and I didn't want to risk my Fiend on Planet 3. But I should have gone to Planet 3, because of course I'm going to win Planet 2, Planet 2 being Iridial. So I could heal the Fiend while it's facing down Straken. And even if I don't defeat Straken, I could have cleared out the Ogryn and hopefully a Guardsman token, and I feel like that probably would have been a worthwhile exchange, especially to cause more damage to Straken, because the Iridial would have been, you know, an important planet to fight over, and it would have stretched Jenny's resources to make sure she could take it on when I had some big units there. At least that's the thought process. I feel like I should have mobiled the Fiend here. Okay, so power from pain. The the Stalwart Ogryn is immune to enemy events, so there's only one possible army unit that she can sacrifice. It is the Elysian Assault Team on Planet 1, leaving her with only a Wounded Guardsman token there. So, yeah, I feel a bit bad about that, but also feel like it was quite useful that it worked out that way. Alrighty. So that was my action, and so now it's on to Bunny Ninja. She's got no other actions, which is great. So I swing with Siren, and there we go. Gonna kill me a Guardsman. There we go, it's dead. Okay. Awesome, great. Happy with that. Oh, sorry, Planet 1 is Iridial, not Planet 2. Planet 1 is Iridial. Fantastic, awesome. And then she points out that she has a troop transport, which she only just put out which I had completely forgotten about. So, yeah, the guardsmen of tokens are back, and that's going to be a problem. Yeah. So, okay, she can do 1 point of damage, which I shield with my promotion, and then she can do another point of damage. We'll get to that quickly. There it comes. And so that point of damage goes through. Dear. Right, so if she can shield anything, I am going to have a problem. And she has 4 cards. Odds are one of them is a 1 shield card. We stay. I swing at a token. And the tension is killing me. And she shields a preemptive barrage, which is huge to be used up that way, but she shields, which means I'm likely to die. So maths, I can't get them now. Even if I shield with that, I'll take 1 more, and then the next round I might be able to kill 1, but they'll still be able to kill me. So I'm dead now. Siren's dead, which is really annoying. Take that point, and take that point, and I'm done. Oof. That hurt. That wasn't fun. I wish I could do something else, and I just can't. There's nothing else. There's no other options for me. That was rough. So now she's on 2 green, 1 red, and 1 blue. That means the next planet is a win condition for her, but I do have a couple of big units there, which is nice. But she's also started to build up on the following planet, which is also green. So tricky. Very, very tricky. She decides she's not going to trigger Iridial, which is just mean. Just mean of her, I think. She could have totally healed my Fiend at that point. It would have been perfectly reasonable. Yvonne, I've got no actions. I'm pretty sure she's done by now. And I'm not going to trigger it this time. Because I'm not that silly. I'm pretty silly, but not that silly. She gets Barless, which is a bit rough. So she's going to get the Void Pirate, and then I get to lose a card. I kind of hope she gets rid of the Oubliette, because I'm not really using it in this particular matchup. It's not really that useful to me at the moment. She swings with the token. Fair enough. Good call. And I lose the Twisted Racks, which is a pain, because they were one of the few things I was like, decent body, but cheap. That could be useful to put them into play, you know? They're a 3/3 with no command, but only cost 2, so that could have been good. Could have been very good. Alright. I'm pretty sure she's done. Yes, she is done. We're all good. And this is a pain. This is a real nuisance. The Splintered Path Acolyte is just not good enough by itself. I do have a lot of stuff on Planet 1, so hopefully I will keep her off Planet 1. But yeah, that's not as impressive as I really would kind of like for this sort of turn. I would have liked to pull another Soul Grinder, maybe. Chuck that onto Barless. Or, gosh, what else? I've already used up all my Powers from Pain. Inquisitorial Fortress, that's going to make a problem. The Inquisitorial Fortress costs 2, it's a support, and as an action, in any phase, you can rout an enemy unit, and it's just that simple. Target unit, go back home. So she could rout my Soul Grinder before command, theoretically, or whatever was about to cause the most problems, she could rout them. Then she puts in a Staging Ground, because I've got nothing else I can do. I want to be able to pull in a Clivex at this point, I'm thinking. I'm saving the resources for the Clivex. The staging ground allows her to deploy a 2 or lower cost unit at her will. She gets to put a Rattling Deadeye down the line and draw more cards. Suddenly things are looking really bad. She's catching up her command, and I'm not in a great position. If I can get the next planet, If I can get the next planet, I will have 2 red, 1 green, and 2 blue. So Barlas would still be a win condition for her, but not for me, which is really not good. I'm really, running out of options. The planet flop has not quite worked in my favour. The resources haven't quite been managed as well by me, and obviously not to discount, she's played a really good tight game, keeping Straken alive, building up command with these tokens, getting them all over the board. Really impressive. So, what did I pull? I pulled 1,000 cuts, which is not bad. Just want to check if she's going to rout anything at this point. And I do decide to mobile over and ping the Urien. My thought being, I'm pretty sure that I want to Clivex it. That's why I've got the few resources I have. Hooray! She let it take a hit. So I'm hopeful that I'm going to be able to Clivex in, get a couple of points of damage here and there. Probably not win the planet, but at least slow her down enough. Okay, yep, here we go. Clivex in. And Clivex kills off the Urien. Clivex being a 4 cost, 2 command, 3/3. And after it enters play, you destroy a target unit at the same planet that's already damaged. So, got rid of the Urien. Okay, that's one thing down. I've got a 2 shield now, so I might be able to keep my Fiend alive. I've got some options, hopefully. Yavanna's done. So those things are in the back to HQ. I'm looking at Barlas and thinking, yeah, this could be alright. I could make this. Got a lot of guardsman tokens, but if I leave Urien here, if I shield and get at least one good swing out of the Fiend, I've got a couple of options. I could be okay. She's got 8 resources and 6 cards and a staging ground and an inquisitorial fortress though, and those are some really, really good option makers. It means she can choose what she's going to do. She can get units out of her hand. She can get rid of one of my units if she wants. It's a worry. It's dangerous. She opens with the Warfather's Shadows for 2 resources? 3 resources. Warfather's Shadows, 3 resources. This is the other Space Marines champion card that came out recently. 3 cost. I believe it's 1 command, 4 attack, 2 hit points, and ambush, so really nasty. But when it enters play, the Raven Guard, of which it is of the chapter, they're really good at fighting behind the lines, so the assumption is that the shadows have been disrupting things. They steal a resource. Well, they don't steal it, sorry. They just reduce a resource. The Marine player doesn't get a bonus resource. But they've damaged my supply lines, and now once they've done that, they're over to join in the fight. And I can't do anything with this. I can no longer do anything. So the shadows just burst in and destroy my Venomous Fiend. I think I'm going to have to run. No, I want to kill off those shadows. I'm just going to be what's the word? Vengeful, petty. I'm going to kill those shadows. Grrr, you naughty shadows, die. But I don't think I've got enough to pull this out. I think Barlas is going to be the final planet, and I think Jenny's going to take it from me. Alright, so get rid of the shadows. I've got no actions at this point. She decides to hit the Clivex, which is interesting. She doesn't want to even put any damage on Urien. She just wants to get rid of the thing. I decide if I can kill a guardsman token, then Straken will do 2 points of damage, which isn't the end of the world, and in fact I might even decide to shield that. And Straken goes for Clivex. Alright, I decide I can just let the Clivex die. I'm not too worried. Alright, and done, run away. Again, Trigger Barless, please take the oubliette. Take the oubliette, take the oubliette. One of my visions of agony. That's quite frustrating, because next turn, if I could have discarded 2 units from her hand, even if I don't get to deploy anything, the Soul Grinder is big and nasty enough that that might have been enough, you know. Right, so I'm hoping my draw is good, is what I'm trying to say there, that I draw some good ideas. But there's a lot of tokens. There's a lot of tokens. Okay, let's see what we draw for the last, well, probably, in my opinion, last round. A rogue trader and a promotion. I mean, really? Really? How useless is that? So, I can use a promotion to guarantee that I'm going to be able to get rid of a non-warlord unit. I'm going to put the Splinter Path Acolyte down just as a something to wear the promotion, and he's got a Blood Angels Veterans to put on that. A rogue trader, because I'm going to win the command there, and I'm thinking it would be nice to have another resource. Clearly, because I'm an idiot, I should have done the Visions of Agony first. Got rid of that Blood Angels Veteran. Would have been a good idea. Then the Rattling wouldn't have been too big a worry. I probably would have left the Rattling. I could even 1,000 cuts the Rattling, theoretically. And the promotion means that my Soul Grinder should kick in, because I've got now 4 command icons to her 2, so I should be able to kill something with the Soul Grinder. But of course it's going to be a token, but still, that's what I'm looking at. She could Inquisitorial Fortress the Rogue Trader, but that certainly seems like a waste of an ability there. I'm just waiting to see what does she do next. What happens next? She's got nothing else. Alright, so that's good. And I don't Visions of Agony yet. Why don't I Visions of Agony yet? Past Aaron, what are you doing? Of course it should have been the first thing I did that turn. Would have gotten rid of that Blood Angel Veteran for sure. Well, I mean, unless she's got some horrific other things in there. But still. Alright. Soul Grinder is going to kick in, but I get a little bit of bonuses here. Hoping for some good torches or some good shields. And there's my Fanatics to block command and another Soul Grinder that I can't use. That's great. That's great, deck. Thank you for that. But she takes another 2 cards, so she's up to 7. Just phenomenal. Right, so into the final battle. She hasn't got an awful lot here. I might be okay. I go for 1,000 cuts on the Rattlings. Thousand cuts is a simple torture event that just does 1 point of damage to a unit. Just that simple, and then you shuffle it back into your deck. It's really, really simple, but really good for moments like that, if she hadn't shielded it. And then why am I not using this Visions of Agony? What am I doing? She kills the Acolyte, which is fine, wanting to make sure something's dead. And now I'm ready to do it. Thanks for joining the party, man. Alright, Visions of Agony. Now that she's down to 6 cards, and I know she's drawn 2 since the deploy phase, but let's see what she has. Tactical Squad, Scalum Shrine Guard, Warfather's Shadows, Suppressive Fire, Tactical Squad Cardenas, and a Veteran Crusader. Okay, so I would have got rid of the Veteran Crusader, and if I'd have managed to keep that Visions of Agonies from the turn before, I might have got rid of Warfather's Shadows, or maybe the Blood Angels Veterans, but either way, she still would have had a ambush unit, or she would have had something that she could stage and ground in, or she could have spent the money on other things. She had fantastic options left. Fantastic. She's got a Suppressive Fire with the Guardsman tokens. She's got the Inquisitorial Fortress. There's nothing I can do. There really, really isn't anything I can do at this stage. So we'll just take a couple of minutes to wrap it up officially, because I like to play things through. But really, that's good game. There's nothing I can do at this point. Let's just see how we finish it off. She gets through to the Soul Grinder, which, yeah, that's what that was going to be. That's what that target was going to be for sure. And then it had been ranged, so now it's my swing, and I mean, bugger it, doesn't really make a huge difference. So I swing with a Guardsman, I swing with Urien to kill a Guardsman. There we go, and it dies. I think she can just pretty much rock and roll through them now. She exhausts the staging grounds to bring in somebody. She brings in one of the tactical squads with it, being a 2-cost unit with 1 attack, 3 HP, and area effect 1, which is just convenient for finishing me off quite nicely here. One point of damage to everyone, and they go away, and so does that. Done, and the veterans smash the Clivex. And there's one nice convenient way she can finish this. No, not yet. Guardsmen wanted to have a quick swing first, and now just really make it count. Yeah, go on, bring in the shadows. I think I'm at 5 damage at this point. There go the shadows, and boom. There we are. So she really, really nicely... Oh yeah, look at that. Same thing. And boom goes the dynamite, I say. So she really held on really nicely there and kicked my butt. But it's an interesting deck from Stanley. I'm sure he's got it out on traxxasector.com somewhere there. It's interesting. I'll play with it a bit more. I hope you enjoyed. Bunny Ninja's a really great person to play, so look her up if you get a chance. And I'll see you next time. I'll see you next week for more Black Crusade, and I'll see you with all the other tournaments and leagues and things that are going on at the moment. Catch you later.